Welcome, God. Welcome back, guys. MAGA supporter. All right. So look, today's story reads like it's from science fiction or it's a parallel reality. But I'm going to tell you the title once again. Okay. And you know what? I'm essentially all over the place here. All right. So MAGA supporter arrested after being attacked by Spider-Man and Unhinged Leftists. We're gonna let this video play, and then we'll dive into some of the backstory behind this.
Dude, what the fuck?
So Spider-Man is getting dragged away.
Spider-Man! Arresting fucking Spider-Man! What the fuck?
Because Spider-Man broke the law.
What the fuck?
Wait a second. This is stupid. Like, okay, so Spider-Man. Hold on. Like, there's a lot of backstory here. Okay, let's see. I saw a reaction by Sneeko. Okay, so this is Sneeko, and Sneeko is a leftist. Okay, and this is what Sneeko, a leftist, has to say about Spider-Man assaulting a MAGA supporter. All right, so let's see.
Did you guys see Spider-Man? Spider-Man beat the absolute dog crap out of Jake Lang. This is crazy. Spider-Man beat up Jake Lang.
So the left thinks that it is so cool that Spider-Man beat up a MAGA supporter. And here's him.
He committed assault.
This is stupid. Look at this. This is
I'm just saying, I wouldn't say that he beat the crap out of him, though. Although
Yeah.
I do have to commend him on his little flying man Spider-Man jump.
Oh my
That was
God.
impressive.
Like,
That's commitment
this
right
is
there.
this is lopping to the next level. Okay? Like, he just dove in and just started
Right.
punching. Okay, I
That's
have to be
100%
careful.
commitment.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
commitment.
but then again, he was caught on tape assaulting someone that was saying something he just didn't like, or simply assaulting
but-
someone he didn't like.
Yeah, but it's the right or a Christian or something like that, so they're totally allowed to do it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they're so evil. It's totally okay for you to attack the right wing influencer. So essentially, this is what Jake Lang was doing. And there's lots of footage. Spider-Man assaulting Jake Lang.
I mean, I
Other,
have to say, I
protests.
like his sign.
I like his sign,
There's
but
a
I'm not going to read. I'm not going to read the sign.
It can be read very clearly right there.
Yeah. Now, I sent out this post on YouTube, on Patreon, and on Discord, explaining to you certain things I discovered about the channel. And I hope you guys read the message I sent out. If you haven't read the message, please consider reading it. It has to do with the fact that now I sent out that message last night. And this morning I did a deeper dive. It turns out that the channel has been suppressed twice. And the first time the channel was suppressed was after I started talking about Charlie Kirk's. I'm not going to use the word. So I felt like something happened then, but I wasn't paying attention because I was just so angry.
Yeah.
I was just angry, and I said to myself, okay, let's talk about this at the end of the show, okay? Because some of you just want to hear about why Spider-Man was attacking a MAGA supporter. So Jake Lang is what they call. Oh, there he is. This is stupid. Oh my God!
Just coming in with that spray.
All right. So I'm going to just let the thing play with audio. You guys don't need to hear me, okay? I'm boring, but the video is really interesting. So let's see. So the video he's doing his thing. Spider-Man jumps in to save the day. Yeah. And then bear spray is being deployed. generously.
Very
There's
generous.
there's lots of generously applied bear spray going on. Awesome. Yes, thank you for that. I see it.
Yeah.
Wow, so tolerant.
They are.
Yeah. Yeah, Spider-Man
Did you
saves
see
the day.
Spider-Man totally take out that freaking civilian too as he was running
Yeah.
away? Like,
Yeah.
legs gone.
Oh my God. Oh.
That cop, he's using his bike. Like, I'm gonna beat that cop was trying to beat a broad with a bike.
Huh.
I think he has been seriously hurt before. Jake Lang.
Yes, he has.
He's been hurt pretty bad quite a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. So after Jake Lang was attacked by a mob of raging leftists and Spider-Man, let's not forget your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the police arrest Spider-Man. This is a shot for the ages. All right. So the police arrest Spider-Man. And I think and this is the caption, by the way, that the leftists are putting out there, like Spider-Man was arrested, and now the police are said to be protecting the N-words.
Mm.
So we live in very different realities. At this point, we live in very different realities. Now, they're going to say that. Now, look, I will not be surprised if this guy starts showing up at every protest, and he's going to be the hero. He's going to be the hero of the left. He's going to be the mascot. Like, he took it to Jake Lang. He is
right. They're going to totally hype him up, like, he's
yeah,
the best thing ever. He's the real Spider-Man. Like, that's what they're totally going to hype it up to be.
Yeah. So guys, Lynn says, surprised Jake hasn't been seriously injured and that's what we responded to earlier. There was an incident a couple of months back, and I think he had a cut.
Yeah, it was like his head got split open and stuff.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yeah. If you look at the thumbnail from this live stream, the inset with Jake Lang's face is from that incident. And he's still going out there. Look, guys, I don't mean to be dark, but Jake has to be very careful unless he's resigned himself to
unfortunately wind up be the next Charlie Kirk.
Yes.
With,
it's and I
forced
think
removal.
I suspect that there's going to be something really close happening with Jake Lang or that exactly because yes, Jake is a right winger. He's a provocateur. I'm just going to say he provokes them by simply getting in their face about the obvious hypocrisy and stupidity of their position. And he's like, he dials it to 11. He's like, okay, so you guys want to hand over whole cities like Dearborn to Muslims. Okay. I'm going to come out there and provoke you guys because you guys are simply handing over your city to people who hate America. And if they hate America, I hate them too. I mean, that's his position, and he's trying to push the conversation into a black and white conversation. None of the political correctness, and none of the fence sitting. What do these people want? Is it good for the country? Is it in line with our values? If it's not, what are they doing here? Lynn says, I do believe something will happen because he goes deep into the nest of these groups, but he really has a passion for what he is doing.
Yeah.
Jake was radicalized with J6.
Yeah.
The same way leftists claim that the United States radicalizes people from the Middle East due to the strikes that happen and collateral damage takes place, that the people affected by the collateral damage get radicalized. In the very same way, on the right, people have been radicalized because of incidents like January 6th, the Summer of Love, the Super Cough. Like, there's so many things that have radicalized a lot of people on the right, but nothing has radicalized anyone more than January 6th, because people's lives were literally destroyed. I don't think that after January 6th, people like Jake can get regular jobs.
No.
Because they have a criminal record.
Yeah, and once they like commit fully to what they're doing, they really can't have another job.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just not going to work for them.
So this is who Jake Lang is right now. This is what he is, and he's not going to dial it back. Hopefully, he doesn't get too extreme to the point where even the right begins to really reject him. He's right there on the very edge. He's right there on the edge. All it takes is just a little slip, and he's over the edge, and then he's truly far right. But for now, he's provoking point blank conversations, which the left does not appreciate. So having Spider-Man and a mob of frothing at the mouth leftists attacking him. Sorry about that. I'm trying to see if I can add this additional video. This is another. I don't know if we've SOS to Spider-Man, who was seen crashing out on Jake Lang's protest in downtown. So this is yet another, like, it's just evidence. It's more evidence that, yeah. So this is just evidence that they assaulted Jake Lang. Jake Lang simply held up signs that they didn't like.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything. He was literally just practicing his free speech, and because they didn't like it, they feel that gives them the right to literally break the law and plan assaults.
Yes, and you have leftist creators like Sneeko encouraging it. This post here says, "Real Spider-Man beats Jake Lang's ass today." Like they're all celebrating.
They're sensationalizing
celebrating it. And well,
right?
yeah,
they're ruining Spider-Man's name.
Intergalactic Hollywood did that, or they're trying to do it. The last Spider-Man movie is doing well, but they've essentially destroyed the Avengers. They've destroyed Superman. They just destroyed Supergirl. They are destroying anything that we hold dear from our childhoods. Back in the early 2000s, they told us on CNN that Ernie and Bert were gay.
Yeah. And my thing is, like, you know what? Who cares if Bert and Ernie was gay, man? Nobody gives a damn. Let him over there with his little meeps, you know? Let him do them. Let them do them.
You know, cares. Why don't they just create their own characters that do the things they like? Leave our childhoods alone.
Right, because they have to try and pull from the fan base that was originally there. They may have been, for real. For real. Bert
Well,
totally may have been gay.
well,
Totally may have. But,
yeah,
that's beside the point.
they never had girlfriends. There was no show
No.
of. Well, but to be
They
honest,
lived
it's
together.
Sesame Street.
Right.
No, but it's Sesame Street. No one had girlfriends or anything. Even the adults didn't appear to have
Yeah.
relationships.
Chris was adding in, they
know,
slept in the same bed. Bert and Ernie, they slept in the same bed. They shared everything. So I'm like, they probably were gay, but we just didn't need to make it a thing.
we didn't need to, and I wouldn't have been surprised if any of the creators were thinking that. Because it occurred to me that many people in the PBS, who were essentially the ones who were the broadcasters of Sesame Street, are leftists.
Oh, gotcha.
So that could have been an issue, All right, so let's pivot over to the next story. There's Spider-Man. Look, guys, we are living in upside down world, okay? But this isn't New York. It's great.
That is so freaking stupid, and I hate that so freaking much.
Handmaid's Tale. The right is going to corral us all into sex camps, and then they're going to portion out the women to the wealthy billionaire right wingers like Elon Musk to forcibly have kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, who believes that? If you believe it, there's something very wrong with the way you think.
And you know what's really going to happen? Is it's not going to be women only. They're going to do it to everybody, because guess what? They're all going to force everybody to try and go to that digital currency and stuff. And then guess what? Now they can cut off all of your ability to get food, pay your bills, do anything. It's also why they're pushing electric cars that they can shut off at the drop of a hat, because, I don't like where you're driving, so I'm going to cut off your car.
Yeah. Look at this. My hero. My hero. Like, this guy is going to be like a mascot. Maybe he's the new Hassan Piker.
It has to be. But why is Disney not tagging him for copyright infringement?
Oh no, he's
because he's pushing their narrative.
He's pushing their narrative. He's on the same side. Let's read the chat before we pivot over to basic logic. Let's see. Do you want to read what Lynn wrote here?
Which I do believe something will happen because he goes deep.
Oh no, the one on the screen. She says, at least if they were gay.
If they were gay, yeah, they kept it in the bedroom and didn't shove it down your throat. Right. Behind closed doors, whatever is happening behind your closed door, I really don't care if you want to dress up like a squirrel and jump around your room, okay? Nobody gives a damn, so long as it is consenting adults behind a closed door. That is all up to you.
If that's the way you want to live, if that's the way you want to run your life, that's fine.
Exactly.
Just don't insist that my children have to participate in that insanity. I think it's insane. And if you think it is, and you might think I'm insane, and that's perfectly okay. If you think I'm insane, it's perfectly okay. We can each decide what we prefer, but let's not try to stuff it down anyone's throat. I'm a Christian, and if someone says to me, I don't want to hear anything about Jesus, I'm like, fine. I mean, it's totally okay. I don't have to start calling you names and calling you the Antichrist.
Bashing them and hurting people or anything like that.
Yeah.
And that's like, if I'm sitting there, I have medical knowledge. If I'm sitting there going like, hey, like medically speaking, you should probably not do that. And they're like, hey, go screw yourself. And I'm like, cool, have fun. You do what you do. Because I mean, that's what I do with patients all the time with my like frequent flyers. And I was like, hey, this is like the third overdose I've picked you up from. Like, maybe we should stop, or maybe just cut back a little.
Yeah.
And they respond with some very colorful language. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, here's this Narcan that's going to ruin your like $70 high right now, and get you a really fun bill. Let's go.
Oh, good. So, in case I didn't say so already, Jake Lang was arrested right after Spider-Man and a few other
Attacked him.
people attacked
Yeah.
him. So Jake Lang is simply exercising his freedom of speech, and suddenly, he's also arrested, and I think he was let go eventually. But it's really weird what we're seeing.
How he can get attacked and he's the one that gets arrested?
Yes.
Like, how does that make any dang sense?
Yeah. Intergalactic says it's all going to change and they're not going to let us stop. Okay.
Well, see, that's the thing is they don't have to let us do a dang thing. We can do it regardless. It's more of the try and stop us, because at this point in time, they're pushing it far enough.
And then he says, I prefer Mary Jane over Spider-Man. And I know what Mary Jane you're talking about, Intergalactic.
You know what? He could probably be talking about both, because, I mean, Mary Jane was a cute character. I mean, we know that he's talking about the other Mary Jane. But
the most recent rendition of Mary Jane in the Spider-Man movies is Zendaya. Is no, just scowling and being negative all the time.
That wasn't Mary Jane, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Tobey Maguire version of Mary Jane. What's her name? Kristen. Gosh.
Oh, I just totally forgot her frick name.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking
German.
about, and
yeah, it's German-ish. So yeah, I enjoyed her version of Spider-Man. Now, which one do you want us to do? You sent me two basic logic videos.
So the first one I sent you kind of connects into this, where basically they were saying, it's like hate speech kind of thing.
Free speech.
That's why they think they can stop it, is because it's hate speech.
So
it's speech that they hate. There's a difference.
Yeah, so let's play that one. So let's listen to this video on basic logic, because the left is celebrating the attack on Jake Lang because he said he uses speech they don't like. I watched this video yesterday after it came out, so I quite enjoyed it too. So let's have a listen.
The utility of hate speech control has been discussed for decades. Proponents argue it's a way of maintaining social cohesion and reducing tensions. Often, they're egalitarians who claim all supposedly innate differences between groups are actually made-up social constructs. As a result, they believe that hateful rhetoric is the only reason that certain groups are generally disliked, and that there's nothing else that could explain this phenomenon. Since all discrimination is supposedly caused by speech, because we're totally, definitely equal in every other...
This scene, I watched, I was like, this is exactly what these people do.
Talk about that.
All right, let's keep going.
It makes sense in their worldview to limit that speech and therefore prevent division. If hateful speech is truly the first cause, just get rid of it. And now there's no more racism.
Yeah.
And yet, despite these initiatives, racism has remained. So clearly, we didn't control enough speech. So just keep controlling more speech until it's gone. In the beginning, the advocates of hate speech laws argued that they were only going after slurs and extreme cases. But nowadays, even bringing up statistics, quoting the Bible, and disapproving of cultural practices all invite accusations of hate speech.
Yeah.
Combine that with the unequal enforcement, where certain groups are protected and others aren't, and it's become little more than a tool to control people.
Yeah.
Which is why in this video, I'm debunking every argument used in favor of hate speech laws, and ranking them on a tier list. And if you enjoyed, consider subscribing, it helps the channel. Hate speech leads to violence. The claim here is that hateful rhetoric is what causes people to become hostile towards specific groups. By being able to say it in public, they spread that sentiment and are able to organize, leading to violence. Thus, censorship is required to prevent this. The issue is, by censoring it, you're not actually getting rid of it. Instead, people resort to anonymous forums and underground groups. Since these discussions will not take place in the open, it fosters tribalism and echo chambers, which are far more effective at radicalizing people than open discussions, which can offer competing worldviews. Additionally, the act of censoring speech against a certain group will reinforce the idea that that group has power over them. As the saying goes, if you want to know who rules over you, find out who you can't criticize, leading to more resentment and radicalization. Lastly, I find the argument itself ironic. It's effectively claiming that because we're scared that speech could lead to violence, the state must use violence on the basis of speech. NPC tier. Hate speech causes discrimination. As I was alluding to in the introduction, the idea that random, unsubstantiated hateful rhetoric is the root cause of racism doesn't make much sense. Everyone has the capacity to say mean things about a certain group. So why does some rhetoric get ignored and die out, while other rhetoric evolves into mainstream stereotypes? The truth is, stereotypes aren't random, they're earned. If someone hears a claim about a certain group, but every experience they have with that group contradicts it, they'll simply discard the claim. On the other hand, if someone has a bad experience and then warns others, that's just collective pattern recognition.
I think we talked about this last
Yeah,
week.
we were talking about it where, like, I was like, as a woman, if I see a whole giant group of guys and I'm walking alone, I'm gonna walk to the other side and give a wide berth for that. That
Yeah.
is pattern recognition.
And
Okay.
I said,
How you give, like, when you're going on your walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give a wide berth because pattern recognition, or let's just call it history. Okay, you have a random 6-foot+ guy walking down the path, and a white girl suddenly thinks that she's threatened and says something went wrong. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so something can't go wrong if I'm 10 feet away from you. So
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's really it's common sense, really.
Once a critical mass of people have recognized the pattern, that's when stereotypes arise and maintain themselves. Stereotypes based on falsehoods or past truths that are no longer relevant exist, but they don't last long. It's the true ones that stick around. And truth often stings, making them the most offensive.
The truth
NPC
hurts.
tier. Hate speech silences minorities. The claim here is that if hate speech is allowed and becomes mainstream, people will shout down targeted minorities, and they'll be unable to practice their right to free speech. The irony of the people advocating for censorship to defend free speech is somehow lost on them. It also just doesn't make any sense. It's not physically possible to shout down entire identity groups, unless, of course, they mean that hateful rhetoric targeted at a certain group could lead to political action where they get the state or policy forces involved to silence that certain group, while allowing others to speak freely. That would be...
Hang on.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I love his videos is the evidence is just staring you in the face. Goodness, what did I do?
That certain group.
Okay. Yeah. So the evidence is right there. You have Hassan Piker allowed to say whatever the hell he wants. And he never gets
the white
dinged.
race.
Yeah.
Black
And
Lives
then
Matter co-founder tweets about killing men and white folk.
Let the streets run with their capitalist. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Guys, at the end of this live stream, I'm going to tell you why I sent out that message, last night, just to let you guys know what that. I'm going to be self-censoring a lot because I can say I want to be like a warrior and try to, stick it to the YouTube man, but it's not smart. We need to get big enough. And then we can begin to stick it. You can become an Asmongold, and even Asmongold isn't immune from getting his channel suspended simply because he points out a fact. I think he just got off a 2-week suspension on Twitch for saying something that was fact, but they took it out on him. But Hassan Piker has been saying outrageous things on Twitch, and he has never gotten a 2-week suspension. So it's a 2-tier thing, and it's, of course, the evidence is out there that they have people who literally do this and get away with it.
Allowing others to speak freely. That would be truly awful, wouldn't it? The jokes write themselves. Abyss tier. Free speech isn't absolute. You can't shout fire in a theater, Therefore, you're not allowed to bring up FBI crime statistics. This is possibly the most deceptive argument advocates use. It's true, you're not allowed to shout fire when there's no fire. You're not allowed to knowingly slander someone, nor are you allowed to file a false police report, commit perjury, etc. But all of these are an entirely different category than simply someone said something offensive about a protected group. When you lie about a fire, slander, or commit perjury, you are deliberately lying. When someone says something offensive, he isn't necessarily lying. He could be lying, he could also be honestly mistaken, or he could be telling the truth, just like every other form of protected speech. Abyss tier. Hate speech laws only limit offensive terms. And who decides what counts as offensive? Saying Christ is king is called hate speech by many organizations. Not to mention what's considered offensive changes all the time. Look at all the times we've changed the word we used to refer to African Americans because the last word became offensive. It's fine to say people of color, but if I invert the grammar and say colored and people, it's hate speech. And the more concerning fact is that the most offensive things are often those rooted in the truth. Is bringing up IQ disparities hate speech? What
Yes,
about
because
crime
you can't
statistics?
say like,
Is it
people are, you can't say they're like retarded or, just statistically their nation is like low IQ. You
Well,
can't say that. That's racist.
even within Nigeria, okay, so we take entrance exams into middle school. From elementary school into middle school, there's an entrance exam that everyone has to take. And it determines if you go into a federal school or a regular state-run school. Now, what they did was that they essentially, this is within a predominantly black country, all right, where 99.99% of the citizens are black.
Yeah.
They said that there are parts of the country that have a higher intelligence quota or quotient, so they would get a higher cutoff mark. They need to score higher to get into these schools. And then they said there are other parts of the country that have a lower IQ, so they have to take the cutoff mark lower. That's DEI. They lowered the standards for those parts of the country, and that's what I experienced this when I was in elementary school, and that's over 40 years ago, and it still runs the same way till today. Even within black countries, they understand that certain groups have a lower IQ. And IQ is determined by different things. It's not necessarily genetic, but it's determined by certain practices and cultures of those groups. And it's acknowledged from within the countries. So jumping up and saying that pointing out IQ disparities is racist is just stupid.
Yeah, and see, and
possible
that
to
they
be
did
hate?
the same thing. Sorry, they did the same thing here in the United States and stuff like that. They lowered the standards with that whole No Child Left Behind crap.
Yes.
They were just pushing kids through and everything like that. And so we've got high school graduates and everything that literally can't read that are getting passed. And they're getting high school diplomas and stuff like that, and it was a lot predominantly in black areas because
Yeah.
they said that, they didn't have the opportunity. No, they had the opportunity. They're there. Yes, the schools are predominantly run down. Okay, well, why are they run down? Why can't they keep
Yeah.
good teachers and stuff like that? There's a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we actually talk about those things so that way we can hold a proper educational standard to it.
No
But
one
they're
wants to
saying
talk
that,
about the reason.
so they're sitting there going, oh, these people are, you know, they can't pass it because it's too hard, but yet we're holding all of the, Asian kids or the white kids to that standard.
Yeah.
I mean, for real? So, like, I mean, it's that, but like, oh, well, these ones, they're so, the poor victims. So we have to say that, it's okay that they can't read. They can still get a high school diploma because we don't want to hurt their feelings.
Yeah. Why is it that every country that has applied this method of grading is basically a third world country? Like, can't you just take a look at how it's been applied in other countries, seeing how it's affected them, and decide this is stupid, it's going to destroy the country. Why not we just don't do it? They don't think
And
that way because it's politically expedient.
exactly. And, if you look at those areas where they are doing that, what do they kind of remind you of? Third world countries where everything's broken and
Yeah,
there's crime running rampant, like
yeah.
everything's everywhere because they've basically turned their neighborhood, their town, their city, whatever, into its own little third world country because they were like, "Oh, we don't want to hurt these people's feelings, so we're going to make everything easier and we're not going to hold them accountable for their decisions and their actions because we're going to hurt their feelings and then they're going to say we're racist."
And we don't want them to call us racist.
Exactly. Yeah.
IQ disparity is hate speech? What about crime statistics? Is it possible to be hateful by bringing up data which I believe to be true? And don't use the cop-out that it depends on the intention. Data always has a purpose. If I bring up crime statistics, it's not just because I want to memorize some fun facts for trivia night. Data shapes policy, as it should. Are we supposed to censor data that someone could interpret as offensive, even if it's true? Or is truth unnecessary in the world you're building? NPC tier. Hate speech laws don't harm free speech. The claim here is that hate speech rules would only target offensive speech. With that exception, free speech remains unharmed. The issue is, the only speech that needs protection is offensive speech. Inoffensive speech does not need the First Amendment, because people wouldn't be offended by it by definition, and thus wouldn't retaliate. To limit free speech to only that which is inoffensive is simply to abolish it. I'd have more respect for these people if they straight up said they were opposed to free speech, instead of playing these word games. But I suppose word games is how you win in politics. Abyss tier. Hate speech causes psychological harm. The claim is straightforward. People saying hateful things hurts, which is true, but then escalates by saying we should therefore be allowed to retaliate with state-orchestrated violence, because that's what censorship means.
Or state-orchestrated or group-endorsed violence.
Yeah.
Just like we just watched with Spider-Man attacking the MAGA influencer or supporter.
It means the state or some policy enforcer with the use of force will hurt people who say offensive things. State violence is hardly a proportional and reasonable response to hurt feelings. If you can't just ignore the words and you are compelled to respond, then the most appropriate retaliation will be to follow the principle of an eye for an eye, or in this case, a mean word for a mean word. Flawed here. Hate speech destroys unity. The claim is that hateful rhetoric is what divides people, and therefore by allowing it, you invite disunity. The issue again is blank slateism. There's more that divides people than just arbitrary mean words.
Yep.
In fact, I can prove it to you right now. If you're a proponent of hate speech rules, you likely believe that Shiloh Hendricks should be legally punished for her use of the N-word. However, you're unlikely to agree that a black person in the same situation ought to be punished similarly. Therefore, the literal speech itself isn't your concern. The person is. Hendricks' crime wasn't using the word. Her identity in that situation was the problem. Meaning you've already divided people along racial lines just to enact your hate speech laws, contradicting your own point. NPC tier. Censoring speech doesn't make people stop discriminating. It just creates a new, institutional way of doing so that can be easily exploited.
Yeah.
That concludes the tier list. If there are any other arguments you'd like to see ranked, please share.
Yeah, so that's from Basic Logic. Head on to his channel and subscribe, follow. His channel simply exploded over the last year. As at last year, he had 0 subscribers. A year later, he has over 300,000 subscribers. He's doing a great job. So please support him. We like to support people that are doing a great job. All right, let's...
I sent you another one. This one's
let's do
great.
the George Carlin. We said we're going to be bringing back offensive jokes.
George Carlin is amazing. Like, if you've never watched George Carlin, first of all, like, please go do it. He has some phenomenal points. I know, phenomenal freaking points, and like just tells it like it is while also still being freaking hilarious.
All right, so buckle up, boys and girls. We're going in. 5,
Yeah, this was like 2005, I think it was.
Gosh.
Yeah, 2005. So, yeah. And this is what
I
he's saying.
I guarantee you that if someone was talking about this in the 70s, they would have been saying the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for the way a lot of things are going, I mean, it's not wrong.
Like the chat is dead quiet. Like, well, this
I
isn't to black pill you. It is to wake you up.
Yeah, I mean, and again, this was 2005 that George Carlin was saying these things.
It's
And
insane.
George Carlin had his very strong beliefs on pretty much every freaking thing. Um,
And was he right?
on a damn lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't like what someone says, it's one thing to say, okay, I don't like the way George Carlin says things. He cusses a lot and he kicks over or he pushes over sacred cows. Fine.
Right.
But sometimes you need to kick over sacred cows in order to figure out, okay, so what's the sacred cow standing on? They don't want me to look at.
Yeah.
And ask yourself the question, okay, was he right? This was 2005, 3 years before Hope, Change, and Obama. All right, and this was in the middle of weapons of mass destruction, and we're bringing democracy back to the Middle East. This was right in the middle of all of that, and Katrina.
Yeah.
There was Katrina going on in 2005 as well. There's so many things that were going on that people just didn't want to pay attention to because he was talking about someone that they liked. And that's why yesterday we weren't shy about talking about the Republicans. Yesterday we said, okay, we're going to talk about everyone who comes up because it's important that we're able to do so that we're not asleep, just supporting anyone who happens to fly the flag we like. We need to be able to look at these arguments and have conversations. If we struggled to call out the Trump administration yesterday about the investigations going on about J6, the pipe bomber, and everything else, then
where they're failing,
then we're in a cult. You and I are in a cult and we can't even see straight. And it means if we are in a cult and people on the left are in a cult, then the world is screwed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't have that. Like, that's just not how it freaking works with everything. You have to be able to call out, right is right, wrong is wrong. And that's why even when, the left does something right, we can sit there and look and go, yeah, okay. All right, yeah, they actually got that one correct. Yeah, they got that one right. The left was right for once, but it's the same thing with the right.
When was the last time they were right?
Listen, a really long time ago, okay? I'm pretty sure they shot that president in the head
Yeah.
in Texas.
Yeah. The bullet that curved.
Yes.
In mid-air, the one bullet that hit him twice.
Right, it like circled. It made
and
it
from the
circle.
front.
It's like a ringer on basketball, where it just circled the hoop. That's what it was. It was just circling. That's what it did.
All right. Let's talk about Ceuta before we wrap up. And
yeah.
I promised to let you guys just talk to you guys about why I sent out the message I did yesterday. If you're new here, you like the conversation, please consider subscribing. Hit the bell icon, please. Our channel has been shadow banned. It's official. So that's what I want to talk about at the end of the stream. And I just want to spend about 3 minutes just to let you know how you can help us get out of this and how I intend to help us get out of this, because it's mostly my fault. It's mostly my fault because I got really passionate about the stuff I was talking about. And you guys too are passionate about these things. The sad thing is that somebody owns the platform we use. We're using it for free, and they don't quite like it when you use their free platform to say things they don't like. So we'll talk about it in brief before we say goodnight. Now, Ceuta, remember when we were talking about Spain and how we said that those illegal aliens would not be sent back to Morocco? And the reports kept coming back that, oh no, that most of them have gone back, that in fact they're all being rounded up and taken back across the border. Well, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we showed you the beaches. The beaches have essentially been ruined. Okay, I guarantee you, you won't walk 10 feet and there isn't somewhere someone has pooped already. Okay, like that is what the third world does to beaches. Because I'm from the third world, and that's what we do to beaches. Okay, so let's watch this report. Well, I'm not sure we can go through the entire thing. I hope we're starting.
Yeah, you don't have to
right
necessarily
spot.
go through all of it. It was just basically talking about how, you know, there's lots of cultural enrichment now.
Oh yeah.
And they said,
Now,
no, that would never happen. That's not a thing.
So the cultural enrichment has begun. And we talked about it 2 weeks ago. Well, let's just listen. Like it grinds my gears whenever I'm like, look, we were right that this was going to happen. It was bound to happen. It was always going to happen. And they told us that we were wrong. Let's listen.
Well, they've lied to you about Ceuta, haven't they? There is now a rape crisis in the enclave. An estimated 5,000 to 8,000 illegal Moroccan and African migrants remain in the Spanish enclave after the late July mass crossing. And rape, violence, abuse have inevitably followed suit, haven't they? Spain's largest police union, the SUP, reports 15 sexual assaults of varying severity since the 30th of July. The clear majority of victims are seemingly underage, some even migrant women themselves. Well, Reuters confirmed this. In one incident last week, 3 men described as brothers were stopped while allegedly trying to sexually abuse a 10-year-old girl. 4 young migrant boys have also been reportedly hospitalised after they were sexually abused in the city. Well, establishment media preferred the story that almost everyone had gone home. Kate Burley, formerly of Sky News, was here peddling the line that as if it's all OK now, that they've all gone. Well, perhaps people like Kay might convince our government to send some of those spare illegal migrant don't rape leaflets to Ceuta, perhaps. Maybe that will stop it, eh? Well, after the invasion of the...
And this is the stupidity and the insanity. I'm going to try and reel myself in so I don't continue we don't stay in YouTube jail for too long.
Heaven forbid that, we need to send out more counselors. That's what it is. They need pamphlets and knowledge and information as to why that's bad to do.
You're not the same. Like they aren't going to read the pamphlet and say, oh, it's wrong to do that. Oh, okay, so I guess I'll stop.
You know what they're going to do with it? They're going to wipe their butts with it and throw it on the beach.
Yeah.
The enclave, groups are now demanding asylum. Signs reading this: we want solutions, we apply for asylum. Take a look.
Look in that, like,
all of this,
those are all men.
Yes.
Like, I didn't see a single woman in that whole crowd. Or, I mean, there may have been, but I didn't see, like, a single one there. That was all, like, young men between, like, I'd say, like, 40 and 18s. Like, they're young. They were, like, younger men.
The women aren't allowed to congregate with the men. They're not allowed to. Culturally.
Have some cultural enrichment forced upon them.
Yeah.
Led to the Italian government shutting down the border with Spain, triggering what might be the end of the notorious EU open border programme, the Schengen Agreement. Well, I actually spoke to an Italian senator about it earlier this week.
Italy suspended Schengen Treaty because there has been a massive invasion, I would say, from the sea. I'm sure that also in the UK you can see what is happening. It seems that there are thousands and thousands. It seems that there are 90,000 people who are just coming swimming from the sea. We need to protect our borders. We are protecting Italian borders that are also EU borders. So also Spain needs to protect EU borders because they aren't only Spanish borders. The migration problem is a great issue at the moment for Europe, and I would say also for the Western world.
Yes, this is the price for open borders, isn't it? Rape, pillaging, violence and crime. And we know this because we see it here in Britain, don't we? And it's not going to stop until British people and Europeans reject this far-left ideology that's driving all of this and seemingly destroying our continent.
I'm joined now by the founder and CEO of Tally Money, Cameron Parry.
Yeah, you
So
don't have to watch like the
what
whole
is
thing or
Tally-
anything like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
like it's just sitting there talking about how like they're it's destroying everything by these open borders and not forcing these people to go back, not deporting them, not forcing them or stopping them from coming over. And how it's causing all of these freaking issues where, you do have the excess blow up and crime and destruction and,
Yeah.
rapes and assaults and all that kind of stuff.
I watched the minister from Italy talking
Mhm.
about how Italy was terminating the Schengen agreement with Spain. And I wonder if every European country has a wall that spans their entire border with the neighboring country. They don't. So terminating the Schengen agreement is just posturing. These people can cross the border from any point along the border.
Yeah.
They
and
will. So
and-
so Italy is not safe. Europe is essentially screwed.
oh yeah, they're just sitting there flooding and going out. And then they wonder why, Trump wants to build a wall. Okay. Build a wall
Mm-mm.
and stop, at least, make it harder for them to just walk right in.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid that we try and stop some of that kind of stuff. Like it's not hateful, it's not, racist, it's not trying to do any of those kind of things. It's literally just going, hey, like we want to be in charge of who comes here.
Mm.
The same
Alright,
thing as a
so-
door on your house.
Yeah.
Go, Tater Tot. Go.
All right. So I'm thinking we should watch the How to Be Responsibly Racist because this story here is going to trigger a lot of conversations when you begin. Like Asmund Gold was suspended by Twitch for 2 weeks for talking about, I think it was the Spain issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about how the problem could easily be solved. And he simply described what the countries could do, and he was suspended for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So the question is, when platforms like Twitch, like our friendly neighborhood YouTube, and every other platform out there can willy-nilly decide that they don't like what you're saying about how to solve a very real problem that is staring everyone in the face, I think we have a huge issue on our hands.
Yeah.
Let me. So we're going to play the How to Be Responsibly Racist video.
And then
did
that
I
other
open
one
it?
that's
Yeah.
like who defines like hate speech, and that one.
Yeah.
Those one like that one's good too because it talks about how like the problems with actually regulating that kind of stuff. Like it was saying in the other logic one that
Yeah.
yeah, there's things that you obviously can't do. You can't go slander. You can't like scream that there's a fire and there's not a fire, cause problems like that. But the ones where they're like, Christ is king. Oh, that's hate speech, but it's not hate speech to me or you, but because they decide they don't like it, now it's hate speech kind of thing. It's like that one's
Yeah.
pretty good too. But I liked this
Yeah.
one, how to be responsibly racist.
Okay. So we'll watch this. I'm trying to decide the off ramp where we'll just say, okay,
Yeah.
do we talk? We end the live stream and then talk about the thing I would like to talk about. And
Yeah,
I
we
try
can
not
end it
to.
after this one because you
Yeah,
can kind of just transition away.
yeah.
It's good.
I try not to bring the channel's drama to the public viewing. I usually do a members only live stream, but I think this is something that I would like to just talk about with everyone. And you guys just know what's happening. And I want it to be out there so that we can figure this out together. I think it's safe to do it because I've been shadow banned. There's nothing I can do to make this video more interesting that will get it more views because I am in the middle of a shadow ban. So no matter what I try to do to make it interesting,
You're not going to get anything. I mean,
I'm not going to get anything of it. So I need to work with my audience, with my fans, not the audience, but my fans. I need to work with you guys, and I need to so some of you have been very patient with the channel, and I want to just let you know that your patience will pay off, but we need to work together to fix it. So we're going to watch this, run commentary on it, then we're going to dive into just me explaining what went on with the channel and how I found out that the channel was shadow banned. And then I would love to have your feedback and just to let me know what you think. But let's watch this together, and then we'll get that moving.
Think fast. You're going home on public transportation. Where do you sit? If you chose option B, then congratulations. You're going on the news. In the ideal world, you would have perfect information about the people around you and evaluate them as individuals and make appropriate choices.
Yeah.
We do not live in a perfect world, and split-second decisions can mean the difference between life or death.
Yeah.
Put simply, if Irina Zarutska had been racist, she, and many like her, would still be with us today.
Yeah.
Stereotypes, generalizations, prejudice, these are tools. They are not innately evil. Rather, it's up to the wielder. Abuse them, and you'll blind yourself to new ones, discarding allies and friends. But refuse to use them, and you'll be paralyzed by indecision when you don't have perfect information. Or worse, end up like the example I gave. Therefore, as a veteran racist myself with years of experience in the field, I'll be teaching you how to do racism successfully.
I love that part,
and
by
if
the
you
way.
enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. It helps the channel. I've come up with the following principles. First, time and sample size. Broad strokes are best used when you don't have the ability to vet people individually, either because you have to make a split-second judgment, such as in the introductory example, or you're dealing with large groups of people, like in immigration policy. But when you do have the time and resources available to evaluate someone as an individual, that's preferable, as individuals sometimes deviate from norms. For example, there's little reason to be prejudiced to someone when you can just have an earnest conversation with them and find out more about them. In fact, earnest conversations are a good way to make friends with those with different identities. That way, when someone accuses you of being racist, you can always point to your black friend. Works like a charm.
See, I got a black
myself
friend.
have
We got a
three.
black guy laughing at our racist jokes.
Look,
So they're okay.
So for everybody watching, I'm the token black guy. Okay,
Yes.
who happens to own the show. I'm the token black guy on his own show who laughs at these jokes. Okay. I'm going to just try to behave. I'm going to try to behave because
That's no fun.
Second, understand statistics. This is where a lot of people struggle. You want your racism to be accurate. You can't just make stuff up because you don't like a certain group. That's not real racism.
Do you know that there are people who watch this live stream and they see a black guy, they're like, why is a black guy talking about the United States? And then they hear your southern accent and they're like, okay, that's a hillbilly. Double whammy.
Right?
This is a useless live stream.
Exactly.
Okay,
So,
I was
I'm not
already
even gonna
upset.
lie. I watched the little short video, like where we broke the stream. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my Lord, I did not realize I sounded that hillbilly. I was like, why did nobody tell me I sounded that country bumpkin? Like, what the hell?
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
So the show is destined to be profiled by these
Oh, for sure.
people.
Sure.
That's just hate. Besides, if you don't like certain groups, there's usually plenty of legit reasons anyway. Crime stats, IQ distribution, pattern recognition. These are your friends. And don't just use raw numbers, apply the proper context. There's an ancient technique for this called per capita, which many from lower IQ groups seem to struggle with. Let me give you an example.
So the guy's face he flashed did a video reacting to one of his videos and could not understand what per capita meant. All he could say was, this guy sounds like he's not American, therefore he shouldn't even be talking about stuff going on in America. That's all this black guy was saying for the entire video, eventually proving what he said in the video correct.
Right. No, like, congratulations. Thank you for proving that.
If Group A commits 44% of the murder and Group B commits 56%, that seems pretty even. Until you realize Group B is just 13% of the total population.
Yep.
At that point, even other members of that group should employ prejudice for their own safety. Third, learn why they're like that. Understanding the reason, the culture, the history of why certain groups act the way they do can aid you in getting a better read on them and help avoid putting yourself at risk. It can also be useful if you're trying to help that group improve and overcome their unique challenges, which is a process I call constructive racism. For example, a group may have a fatherlessness epidemic, leading to struggles of authority or accountability. Or
He went to go buy milk and never came home. Let's be real. In that instance, it was probably he was going to go get some,
oh my God! Yeah, smokes. But he's trying to be. He's trying to be. True. He was.
Culture that interprets personal hygiene.
With that, though, I mean, we all understand that for like Black people, it's Newports, and for white people, it's cowboy killers. Marlboros. Cowboy killers. They call them cowboy killers.
Okay.
So see, there's the thing. Equal on the cigarette discrimination.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Leading to struggles of authority or accountability, or a culture that interprets personal hygiene as an insult against their honor. Or maybe another group follows a religion that teaches that they are of divine origin and everyone else is cattle. There's also obviously the genetic explanation, but the best way to confirm that is by process of elimination. So you have to test out non-genetic theories anyways. Unfortunately, learning the intricacies of different groups is difficult and takes time. If only someone made YouTube videos about exactly that and broke the stuff down in just 5 minutes each. That'd be worth watching. Because remember, pattern recognition isn't evil. It's a tool for survival. And those who want you to stop using it probably don't have your best interests in mind.
That's true. This guy is brilliant.
I love his videos.
Brilliant. And there are tons of Hassan, every time I want to say Asmund Gold, I keep saying Hassan Piker because they both have there's an ongoing feud between Hassan Piker and Asmund Gold. So I just keep mixing them up. Asmund Gold reacted to his video and it just blew up his channel like crazy. So thank you, Asmund Gold, for introducing me to basic logic. He's amazing. Brilliant ways. Like, I listen to him and I'm like, I wish I could break things down in the way he does, but I have a different way of doing things. So he says the same thing I'm trying to say, but he does it in a way that is very like straight line. I weave a lot. I weave, get there eventually, but this is great stuff. All right, so guys, so what do you think of this video? We've already done some commentary on it, but he's right. Pattern recognition is essential. And we talked about it earlier, and this video again has emphasized the issue of pattern recognition. Now, let's pivot over to the thing I was going to talk about. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know that we are one Hickox short. Chris wasn't able to make it because he is not at 100% today.
He's got a man cold and he's currently curled up being a baby. It's okay. We love it.
So Chris, we miss you. We love you. But so let's talk. I'm going to take this off the screen. Let me take this off the screen. Now, I usually like to obscure my face because I don't like my face being out there as much, but I have to do that because YouTube. And YouTube has changed a lot in certain ways, but not much in other ways. And last year, okay, so earlier, I think 2 weeks ago, I was talking with Chris, and I said to Chris, the channel might be shadow banned. And Chris says, well, let me check. He put the the name of the channel into some online tool, and the tool said, nope, your channel isn't shadow banned. And I was like, okay, I'll take that software's word for it. But it kept nagging at me, and I decided that I was going to let Claude, because I use Claude. I decided to get all of the data from the YouTube channel's back end and feed it into Claude and say, are there markers that show that the channel has been shadow banned? My thoughts were, over the last 90 days, I saw some patterns, and I think the 90 days should be enough to tell if the channel was shadow banned or not. And I did this last night, and the feedback was that the channel was shadow banned. I shared the link with Chris and
I got it pulled up right here.
And Tracy, and what you guys got was the summary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so maybe later I'll share the entire thing because you guys give a lot of your time. You do a lot to help out with the channel, and I don't want to kind of, put too much on your plate, so I decided to just give you the summary. So according to the update, because I just sent in an update today to that same document, and you pulled it up and you see it says 2 suppression events.
Yeah.
And last night it told me, yes, your channel has been suppressed and the suppression took place somewhere around early July. And I was like, okay, what happened
late
early
May
July?
2026. I see it right here.
Yes, late May 2026. Yeah. Then this morning, I sent out that message and I said, okay, I want to let the audience know how they can help, because it's clear that the channel has been shadow banned. How do we know the channel has been shadow banned? Now, before the suppression took place, the channel had been pulling in, like, before the suppression, we had 322,801 impressions.
Mm-hmm.
The impressions show whether YouTube is actively sending out your
pushing your videos,
your videos out to for either old audience or new audience to watch the video.
Mm-hmm.
And we had gotten over 322,000. Now I want to get those numbers in front of me so that I'm giving you guys the right metrics. So sorry guys, just want to be sure. So it's created to about 1,000 now, and that is within a month. It went from going this way, and then first week in July it fell off a cliff. So the AI read those numbers and said that is a telltale sign that your channel is being suppressed. And I looked back at that period. That was the period where I was reading about sexual assault being rampant among illegal immigrants who the lefts were protesting for, who were detained at ICE facilities and so on. If you recall, we were covering ICE facilities and the protests going on there. And I mentioned that a lot during that period. It was also the period where we were talking about Graham Plattner, and his little escapade and the women who were reporting him. So we essentially also dove into how the Democrats were the party of yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of that during that period, and I think it got the algorithm really upset, and the impressions fell off a cliff. So the software said that the impressions dropped off completely, but the click-through rate and the average watch time did not drop off. The click-through rate is basically whenever people see the thumbnail, do they click to watch? That's the first thing. The second thing is the watch time. The average watch time increased 10%. It went up 10% over the last 90 days. That meant the people who do stay to watch stayed longer, meaning that we didn't have a content problem. The bottom line from the report is that we don't have a content problem, but we have a distribution problem. The platform is holding us back. This morning, I decided to widen the analysis to say, okay, let me give you raw analysis from the last year. I was curious. I was just saying, let me see what happened over 365 days and see if this is a pattern. And I was shocked to find out, shocked, but not so shocked. But
yeah,
I was shocked to find out that the channel was suppressed right after the Charlie Kirk incident. And the funny thing is, this live channel, I set up the live channel, I think it was August or September of 2025. I set it up as a backup to the main channel in case the main channel got terminated or something. I needed a backup.
Mm-hmm.
And I set it up that way, and I would post videos on both channels. Some of the videos would tank on the main channel, but they would do very well on this channel. And so it began to grow, and most of those videos got a lot of views and began to gain traction and momentum. Then I did videos about Charlie Kirk.
And it crashed. And
it went like from here to just, it fell off a cliff. So the AI said that the first time that I have actually been suppressed twice. There are two suppression events. The first was the Charlie Kirk event, and the second was this event, which I'm tracing to the conversations, the very sharp conversations that I've been having about immigration, assault, and Democrats. I've used very, very sharp words and tried to be very, very blunt. And I think some of you, I joke about when I tell Lynn that I'm ranting and the numbers go up, we joked about it, but there were times when I would really get upset and I would just say, look, the algorithm be damned. I'll just say it as it is. And I looked at the numbers and I asked myself the question, look, did I tell the truth? Yes, I did. But am I serving the audience by continuing to get the channels shadow banned? Because there are more people who should be hearing what we're discussing. There are more people who should know about the stuff or the way we talk about things here. And because of my stubbornness, I chose to fall on my sword and say, look, the algorithm be damned. Somehow I knew this was going to happen with the Charlie Kirk situation. When he got, I'm not going to use the word because the A word is one of the reasons why my channel was shadow banned the first time. The A word, the K word, the S word, okay, for pew-pews. All those words featured for a month. Yes, cordless hole punchers. Like, they featured heavily during that period, and the algorithm heavily suppressed not just this live channel, but it also suppressed my main channel. So recently, the main channel kind of started getting some visibility, but I think whenever I say some of these things, it just puts me in a hole. It puts me in a hole, and I can't reach anyone. One of the things that it said in the analysis was even subscribers don't get notified whenever I go live now.
Yeah, I had to go back even on mine, and I participate in the lives, so I know that they're happening. It doesn't send me the notification that the stream has gone live or anything like that. I've had to go back in and change the settings and redo it like several times.
And sadly, it's so, well, I'm not going to say it doesn't help. I won't say that, but what I will say is, excuse me, I want to show you my full, I just want to put the full report on the screen. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna give you the link as well, Tracy.
Okay.
I'm gonna just send it to you just so that you can have it as well. But let me open it. So we're talking to you about it because I'll be honest with you. I'll say it this way. We need your help. Okay, as the audience, we need your help now. And whenever you go live with us, or whenever you watch any of our content, we need you to work with us to get the channel where it should be. I always like to do things on my own merits. Several times I've said to Chris, and I think I've mentioned it to Lynn, I've asked, is the channel doing what it should do? Is it providing value to you? Because I felt like I was getting confused as to why the channel wasn't getting more visibility. And I didn't want to believe that I was shadow banned, do the black thing and blame somebody else for your problems. I wanted to be sure that I was doing everything I should in order to make sure that the channel was serving the audience the way it should. And I kept asking, is the content good? Am I serving you well? I kept asking that question because I didn't want my brain to go to the fact that I might be shadow banned. All right. So here's one report. Okay. Let's go to so this is the summary of the two events. All right. I'm just going to read it out to you guys. And I don't want to bore you with the details. I just want to kind of open the kimono and say, here's the research, and this is why we really need your help. It's not just, and the truth is, if you can do your best to help us out every way you can, it will go a long way, because we have over 1,900, I think, at this point, subscribers on this channel. And yet we don't get whenever signals go out, it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm going to just prove it here with the data. What happened? Suggested videos. Should I zoom in? I think I can. Hang on. Sorry. Ah, jeez. Oh, no. I'm on the wrong tab. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the live has 1,970.
What are you reading? Okay, you mean the subscribers? Yeah, 970. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what happened? Suggested videos traffic collapsed from 3,000, and this is the first time, 3,775 engaged views per day. This was the first time, to near zero overnight. This surface, which drives new audience discovery, has not recovered in 11 months since. So the channel was still within the shadow of the first shadow ban. The probable trigger was a cluster of over 5 videos published between September 11th and 17th, carrying the words assassination, shooting, death in their titles, in connection with a real-world political violence event. We know what that was. YouTube's automated systems apply channel-wide suppression when multiple uploads in a short window trigger this classifier. Biggest video in the data set was the Democrats' sweet meltdown over grand jury investigation into Russia hoax. This was one of the first videos that I published on the channel that was a double upload on the main channel and this channel. On the main channel, the video tanked. On this channel, it took off, and it had over 200,110 impressions and 15,623 views. Okay, now this is how well this channel was doing then. Now, the suggested views before the suppression was 3,775. The suggested after the suppression took place, 0. It has not recovered so far. Second event was this. Browse features traffic, the only remaining distribution surface collapsed following a peak in June 3rd, 2026. And as of that time, I was getting 38,703 impressions in a single day. The Democrat Meltdown Watch Party series, which we started out doing, and I think we can we still have the spirit of that, but we're going to kind of emphasize it. Essentially, it's more like we're doing a watch party, we're reacting to these insane things going on, and grab a drink while we're at it. We do it, but we don't emphasize it as much. So we want it to be fun, and I think it's been fun, in my opinion. Let me know if I'm mistaken, but I think the last clip we shared shows how much fun we're having. The Democrat Meltdown Watch Party series has driven a browse surge that ended abruptly when the news cycle passed. Probable trigger: end of the news cycle, relevance combined with positive live content incident. And then this is a misrepresentation because it's assuming that the clip, the racist jokes that broke our live stream, which was published just on Friday, was part of the problem. It's not. This started much earlier, and they were right, June 3rd. So they said the peak of the channel was 38,000 impressions, over 38,000 impressions in one day. Afterwards, approximately 0. We're not getting any browse impressions at all. Our monthly audience over the last 28 days has been 361. So basically these numbers, this is more of an in-depth thing. I've shared it with Tracy, and what we're asking you guys to do to help the channel out is one. We're going to do our best to have a regular schedule. And we did something yesterday, which was to move the Sunday live streams to the same time belt as the regular live streams, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. Sorry about today. I had some family thing to do, so we had to do that today. So I'm sorry, but we're going to try to keep it at the same belt. 1, we needed to show up for the live streams, not just show up. If you're watching, and I'm not talking to Intergalactic and Lynn. You guys have been, you guys and Tony have been the. I'm not understating it. You've been the rock in the comment section, in the chat. And I appreciate the work you guys have done. I appreciate the commitment you guys have made to the channel. You guys have sent content, videos, suggestions, encouragement. You've done all of that, and I appreciate you. For those of you who have found the channel, and maybe you watch the channel primarily on your TVs and you don't engage in the chat, somehow find a way to like the video or share the video, or just make sure that the bell icon is activated, so that whenever we go live, you get notified that we've gone live. Or whenever we post content, you get notified that we've posted content. And when we do post content, like the content, share the content, and hype the content. Because the hype feature is a recent feature from YouTube that promotes the video. It's more like an upvote. It promotes the video. Now, I wonder why they have to add the hype thing, because the like button was meant to be the upvote button. But YouTube is adding more and more, barriers. It's more like you need to do more. You need to do more. And it's more like trying to keep people on the platform more. So even if you had a certain type of audience, they want the audience to even do more. They want the creators to do more. They want the audience to do more. So that's another thing. 2 months ago, I mentioned to Intergalactic and Lynn on a members-only live stream, and I mentioned that I had noticed that the live streams that had more super chats, if super chats were happening on the live stream, it's sort of got some visibility, because super chats are business for YouTube. Whenever YouTube sees super chats, they get 30% of the super chats. And it seems like if super chats are happening during the live stream, they forget that they hate your channel. They like your money. All right?
Yeah.
They like your
I hate
money.
your face, but I want your money.
But you're bringing in the money. So I told them that jokingly, and we ran an experiment, and I think we got some numbers that showed that we were right. So whenever you can, it's not a requirement. It has never been a requirement to read your chats or to engage with you. Money will never be a barrier between you and us. We're never going to grade your importance based on how much money you give us. It's never going to happen. I'm making that commitment here and now. It's never going to happen. However, if you do feel like you want to support us and show that the channel means a lot to you, and you feel like giving a super chat or a donation, go ahead and do the super chat. We have a link. The donation QR code that's at the top right of the screen right now has been used by a few of you, and I've been told that it's difficult to use because they're like hoops to jump through before you can actually give. And I get it. And it's a bad idea to have something that makes it harder to give. But whenever you use that, most of the money gets to us, which is fine. But I think for now, we're going to stop promoting the QR code and that link, because it's almost like we need to buy our way out of jail right now. So if any donations are coming in, they will have to happen on YouTube to kind of help us claw out of this insanity. I'm saying this because we have two options. One, we can be martyrs. We can say, we're not going to change. We're going to continue to say all these things that YouTube says we shouldn't say, and to hell with them. Or we can play the game and say, well, let's hold our horses for now. Let's be honest as much as we can. Let's use words like enrichment, like we started using for the other thing. We can begin to substitute words so that we can avoid unnecessary suppression. We need the message to get out there. Now, what is the message we're trying to share? Honesty, truth. That's all we're trying to talk about here. Honesty and truth. If the left is doing something crazy, we talk about it and laugh about it. If the right is doing something crazy, we talk about it and laugh about it. That's my position. And most of you share that position. So this is just a bit of it. I didn't want to pontificate and speak too long on it, but the data that came back at me shocked me. If you want to see the full report, I'm going to post it on the Discord. It's going to be on the Discord. So you can comb through the report yourself. This full report, because this is the full report. The report that I sent to, the one I sent to Tracy and Chris was lighter.
Yeah.
This is the lighter report. So I'm going to be putting the full report on the Discord, and you can take a look. But this is what we want and need. And I'm going to let Tracy talk a little about this. Not that she wants to kind of say much, because she didn't know I was going to ask her to say anything. But Tracy is relatively new to the channel. She was grandfathered into being a panelist by her husband, Chris. So some of you don't know that she's married to Chris, okay? Yep. And they are husband and wife, and they have lovely kids, and they have a beautiful story. You guys have heard most of their story. She was grandfathered in because I was talking with Chris over Discord, and she kept talking in the background. I said, I need to meet that woman, you know? And you guys have enjoyed her being on the show. Tracy, when you saw this the first time I sent it, and hearing me talk about this, like, tell me what you think about this. And am I hallucinating and thinking that the channel should be bigger than it is right now, or is it just me being the main character of my own story? I feel like we've been held back so much that it hurts.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's clear that, I mean, if you hadn't been suppressed, shadow banned, however you want to say it, or anything like that, the channel would probably have a hell of a lot more viewers. Chat would have more people in it. I mean, you'd have a bunch of, additional things that are going on in this. But because they did suppress it and everything like that, I mean, honestly, they've kind of screwed the whole base. And like you said, almost, yes, I see. Thank you for the bowl. Sorry. I got handed
No
a
problem.
random bowl.
No problem.
But I mean, like, if you're looking at the way that everything was trending, I mean, you were doing really well. It was trending upward. It was going up, and then, heaven forbid, you said a few things that, YouTube didn't like. The liberals on the left-hand side, the ones that don't suppress free speech, didn't like what you said, so they suppressed what you said.
Yeah, you can see the graph. It was climbing. I said something they didn't like, and boom, it just
Bam,
went dead.
Flatline. Like, we need to, pump some epi into this system or something like that. Freaking jumpstart it with some Georgia power.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of dumb, but that's also why, I mean, like, I try and say, like I say, where, it's enrichment. Or, when I, start,
Pew pews.
saying, exactly, it's the, it identifies as a hole punch. Okay. So, trying to do different things like that to keep it. And I mean, if you even notice, you've seen it with the bigger channels and stuff, that until they hit that certain level of you can't suppress them, they say things like that. It's the, pew pews, or, grape, and that kind of stuff, as opposed to saying the actual words.
So look at this number, and we'll just land the plane. There's no need to keep circling this topic. It's just look at this number. Monthly audience used to be 17,700. Now it's averaging 361 monthly a month. So it's like I said, and I don't say this all the time. Like I'm like this is painful. It hurts to look at these numbers, but it tells the whole story of what's going on with the channel. Like I said, I'm going to share this link. I'm going to put it up on the Discord, and have the audience have access to it. I don't know of any. Well, I'm not a big YouTube channel, so I'm not going to say that when I'm a lot better off than I am right now, I'm going to routinely just let you guys have all the data. But I want you guys to see what we're dealing with, and just to let you know that that we believe that a huge part of the solution is you helping us out to get out of this rut, because we've been in a rut for a year. By September 17th, it's going to be a full year of being essentially suppressed. We didn't really get out of the first suppression, and we were hit with the second one. And like I said, it was my fault. Somehow I knew that talking about the Charlie Kirk situation was going to hit my channel. It affected both my channels. But I didn't care because I was angry. And I said, if these people are going to force us to be quiet about something as egregious as this, I don't care anymore. And I talked about the Charlie Kirk thing. I used words that were flagged. I didn't care. It was my fault. I own it. The second thing, talking about the things I've talked about with enrichment, the original word, coming from a certain people group and so on, and the Democrats being, fully in support of those kinds of things, it's also my fault. I own it. However, when you see this happening over and over again, and you feel like there has to be a way to wake people up, sometimes you feel like you need to do that. You need to kind of push those levers to wake people up. But what I think we're going to have to do is we're just going to have to slow roll this, do what we've been doing, enjoy talking about these things, replace these words. And while we try to make sure the content is as sanitized as possible and as entertaining as possible, we need you guys to just do what you can to support us the only way you can. Watch the videos all the way to the end. If you can, stay all through the live stream. Engage in the chat. If you're watching in the background, that's totally fine. Just being on the live stream is perfect. We appreciate it. We appreciate the sacrifice. It's time you will never get back. And I appreciate it so much. I want to say this again publicly. I appreciate Chris, Tracy, for taking the time to be on the show. It's a sacrifice that you guys make. Guys, there's no financial arrangement between us. This is not about money for them.
No.
And I want to appreciate you guys. You guys have gone over and beyond, especially when I have to change the schedules on a dime and you guys match the change. I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you so much for your support. And thank you for making the live streams even more entertaining than they were in the first place. And we look forward to being able to do this more.
Chris talk to you and Tony, and I was chiming in, and then you guys kept asking questions to me, and I'm just in the background yelling, and then that's kind of how I got involved.
Got roped in. Yeah, and today she's sitting in the chair. She's sitting in the Hickox chair.
I got the actual chair and a computer, and I'm not outside where it's hot and sitting in a bowl of soup because it's the South and it's humid and gross.
Oh no. So I appreciate you guys. Lynn, thank you so much for just being you and Intergalactic Wrangler, being the heart of the chat, the heart and soul of the chat. You guys have been amazing. I know that it's been quite the ordeal just being in there, and you guys know that that we expect you guys to be there, and there's some expectation there, and even though it's inconveniencing, maybe you're busy doing other things, you try to be in there. We do appreciate it, and we see you, and we love you for it, and we thank you for making the sacrifices. This is just showing you what we're going through, and we're simply saying when we're going to need to all make more sacrifices to claw our way out of this. I don't know how much work we're going to need to do. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get out of this. Right now, while we're streaming, we're stuck at, I'm going to call out the views that I see because the software kind of does this for me. It picks out the views. It tells me that we have three people watching on the live channel. We have one person watching on the main channel. And that's about it. Anything else, I have one person on Kick, but I don't know if that's a real person because Kick and Twitch are notorious for bots. Yeah. So the real viewers that we have right now are on the two channels, the live channel and the main channel. And we need to figure out how to claw our way up to double digits and then maybe triple digits and so on. It feels like this is going to be a lot of hard work. And
it is, but anything that's worth it doesn't come easy. Okay.
Yeah. So, so as we wrap up, why did I decide to show you guys all of this? When you're part of something and you look at the numbers and the numbers aren't growing, there's always a silent question that you ask yourself, why isn't this channel growing the way it should, the way I think it should? And most of the time, the answers, not having the answers can be a burden. So this is me giving you the answers. Sometimes you may be watching and you look at the live viewers and you're like, 3 people, 2 people? Is this it? Is the content this bad? Is something wrong with me?
Right.
But the truth is, this is why we've had this bad run. And I'll be honest with you. It can feel very tempting to say, screw it, I'm going to play video games, or screw it, I'm going to watch. Which show have I not watched recently? House of the Dragon.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Game of
just
Thrones kind of
go.
nonsense.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Let me go catch up with shows that I haven't picked up on because I've been too busy thinking about this channel and doing other things to try and make money, But I've refused to give up, and I appreciate you guys for the encouragement and for the support. And I hope you will use this as fuel to keep supporting and keep doing what you do. We appreciate everything that you've done, and we thank you for your support. I put up a poll. Let me read the poll, the result of the poll. Goodness, where's the poll? All right, so the poll completed somehow by itself. So the question in the poll was, Okay, so there was a chat that came in earlier. I don't know how I missed that. Tony Harwood, I think it came in before we went live, I think. So the guy said, Unhinged Leftists, I suppose you think Jake Lang is mentally sound. People like this leave comments and they don't wait to hear the response to their comments. I've told you my position on Jake Lang, and also we've expressed our concerns about him. We've also tried to diagnose why he does what he does. So who knows? We'll see about that. So this was from the main channel. The main channel Do you support Jake Lang's methods? No. That is the result from the main channel. From the backup channel, the poll, just give me a sec to get the results of the poll from the backup channel, and then we will call it a beautiful evening. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Oops. So something broke. Usually when I sign in on both the live and the backup channel on the same browser, it kind of
out.
Yeah, it glitches out the polls and the chats and everything. So I have to go back and switch back and refresh. Refreshing.
We're thinking.
All right. So that one too says no, 100%. Yeah. So most of us who watch say, look, this is a problem, and it's all right. So the software. Now, I haven't been reading the chats that's been coming in because the software up here glitched. I can't see all the messages you've been sending. I just
Yeah,
got
that's why
to
I've actually
see.
had the live stream up,
Yeah.
so I can see it.
So is it okay if we just sit with the guys, because you guys are amazing? My goodness, you guys just put there's so many chats that I haven't read. So many chats I haven't read, guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't see it. Usually I depend on the software. Okay, so I'm going to start with the most recent chat. So we'll just go backwards. Lynn says, we love the channel. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lynn. Thank you for the support on the days where I feel like I don't feel like live streaming, because I don't want to go live to 3 people, 5 people, but I think of the 3 and 5 people that I live stream to, and I love them so much. I love hanging out with you guys. Lynn, Intergalactic Wrangler, like whenever I push the applause button, I really mean it. It's not a gimmick, all right? It's not a gimmick because you guys really matter. And in my mind, I made up my mind months ago. Last year, I said to myself, if the only audience I have are these people, I want to serve them with everything that I have inside of me. That's my decision. So it's so for me right now, it's not about the numbers. And you guys can tell we've been at these numbers for a while, and I try to bring the same energy to every episode. I try, and I hope I've succeeded. Lynn says, yes, we enjoy them both on the show. I said it. Intergalactic Wrangler says, dang, of course. Yeah, we were shadow banned, and now it's confirmed. Lynn says, I don't get notifications either.
That's where I was saying that, my notifications, like I've had to go back and fix them. Yeah.
Yeah. She also says so many channels will get shadow banned in time for the midterms, and that is true. And guys, that's why we are asking, we're begging for everyone to get on the Discord. All right. That's why we're begging for everyone to get on the Discord, because we have the announcements set up on the Discord. So whenever we go live, we notify everyone. I know it's a big ask. We also have the Patreon. We live stream directly into the Patreon, because we're like, if something happens to the live stream on all these other channels, we should at least have a backup on the Patreon. So the Patreon also exists. Yes, it's too many places to sign up and do stuff, but we're just trying to protect ourselves. As you can see, that paranoia is actually legit, is valid. we've been wading through a shadow ban for almost a year, simply because a good man got cut down in his prime. We were upset,
You dared
and
speak
we
of it.
talked about it, and they simply didn't like it. So,
But, if you were celebrating it and saying that he deserved it, then,
oh my goodness, my channel would be at 1 million subscribers by now.
heck yeah, dude. You'd have all kinds of supporters.
It's sad, but this is the world we live in. Lynn says, and we were coming up on the anniversary of CK. Yes, I was thinking about something for that, but I might do a video, a tribute video. Maybe the live stream for that day, we can just talk about it. Maybe just have a live chat, fireside chat kind of thing, where we just talk.
Like highlights and like a
Yeah.
little highlights of
Yeah.
him, compilation type of thing.
Yes. Yeah, we could do that. Just make it an event and have our drinks and just talk about it. Intergalactic Wrangler says old movie, don't know the reference. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Okay,
That's
yeah.
the old movie, Harley, because
Yeah.
we're talking about Newport.
I'm reading in reverse, so
Yep.
I'm getting some things out of context. Lynn says, what fun is it when you behave? I know.
That's what I said.
Look,
So
okay,
fun.
so let's try to do something about the Discord server so that whenever we're like, okay, let's go over there and misbehave. All right. I think that's what I'm trying to lean into, because clearly they don't like fun anymore. They don't. We allow you to speak. Yeah, thanks. And thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me speak. And from what I can see, 90% of my audience are white people.
Yeah.
90%. 90%. And sometimes I look at, like when you're live streaming, and one of the things I don't like about the software that I use is it shows me the live numbers in my face. So while I'm live streaming, I can see now you have 10 viewers. No, now you have 8. Okay, now it was 9. Now it's 3 people. Like you get to, it's in your face. You can't unsee it, and it can be distracting. But and sometimes there's questions like, do I suck? Does the channel suck? Does the story we're talking about suck? Or is it just about the color of my skin? Because whether I want to talk about it or not, it is a factor.
Oh, yeah.
It is a factor. And I'm like, are people just walking away simply because I'm an immigrant from Africa and they feel like I don't qualify to talk about American politics? And people have put that in the chat many times. So I literally have to fight all of those things while I'm live streaming, literally dealing with all of those things, because the number is there, the chat is there, the news is there, it's happening in real time.
Hey, I almost didn't start doing the stream with you guys because I hate the way I sound on like videos and stuff.
Yeah. Okay,
Absolutely hate
guys,
it. I almost didn't do it.
let her know. Okay, chat. Tell her what you think about the way she sounds. I like the way she sounds. I enjoy listening to her tell her stories and give her point of view on the commentary and everything. I like the way she sounds. So you guys let me know in the chat. I'm going to scoot back down to see what you're saying. I just want to catch up with
I legitimately did not realize that I sounded like that country until I watched that video. Because like Chris showed it to me and I was like, I do not sound like that. And I was like, oh crap, I do.
But you see that, I think the beauty of what we've stumbled into with Chris joining and you joining is having people who sound so differently from even people in the States. Like most of us are used to the California accent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So why? Because we watch movies and that's the accent that we're that the world believes America sounds like. But whenever you talk to people from Kentucky, we had Patricia. Patricia is a 72-year-old vet, Air Force vet from Kentucky that used to feature as part of the panel, but she's been busy through the summer, and she doesn't sound like California. There's you and Chris. You don't sound like California. I guarantee you that Intergalactic and Lynn don't sound like California. Okay, and that is the real America. I definitely don't sound American, but I can talk about, at least to an extent, American politics. I know stuff.
Funny because you can even have people from, like, take Georgia for instance.
Yeah.
North Georgia versus South Georgia. So people in northern Georgia sound completely different from us down here in southern Georgia. Like, it's a complete difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it is. I always found that kind of fun. That's why I liked it when, I've lived from coast to coast, and I warned Chris when he went out to Colorado to go work with my dad. I told him, I was like, I'm gonna tell you right now, baby. I was like, those women out there are gonna be thirsty. If you know what I mean. Because he's got that southern accent, and I was like, they're thirsty. He and I were literally on the phone. Him and I were talking. And a woman walked up and was propositioning him. And she's like, "You married?" He's like, "I'm on the phone with my wife right now." And she literally goes, "Oh, well, she's not here." And I was like, "I can be there in 23 hours. I assure you of that. I know how long the drive takes."
Oh my goodness.
I was like, "It's that accent, baby." I was like, "It's that accent. They gonna come for you."
Oh boy. It's amazing that for
Waylon
one group,
Cash, stop it. Go.
For one group, it's like the accent is so attractive. For the other group, it's so racist. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Again, that's why I always say, like, I'm the uneducated white woman. They hear that accent and they're like, "Oh, she's dumb. She's stupid. She's got to be racist."
Yeah. Okay, so let's catch up. Intergalactic says, well, that's a different universe. They do come together. And then he says, next zaps his dog, talking about Hassan. Intergalactic Wrangler says, bringing back singing while you work. It used to be a thing to increase productivity. Yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, I have music playing and I sing totally while I'm doing my work. I mean, I know my patients probably think I'm freaking crazy because I'm over there, like singing Highway to Hell by AC/DC and stuff. And I was like, I'm not taking you to hell, I promise. It's just what I'm listening to. Why I have headphones. That's why I wear headphones when I'm working. I always have a headphone in because I was like, my playlist is kind of bipolar. Let's not do that.
Intergalactic says it's kind of like military cadence when you listen to music, sing while you work. Yeah, especially when you work with a team and you're all singing the same song. It's very,
gotcha.
Yeah. Intergalactic has been busy, I see, says Lynn. Yes, he has. He's trying to complete that Reno that he's working on for his daughter's
Tony?
house.
Yeah, Tony.
Yes, Tony. And Lynn says, I don't have enough bad words to respond to this news report, referring to the Spain situation. Yeah. And Intergalactic Wrangler is stuffing his face with a hamburger. Yes.
Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah. All right. Let's skip down and catch up with the ones that came in after we asked them to say nice things about you. Lynn says,
same.
It's same. It's crazy when I hear myself speak on recordings. Texan here. Yeah, it is.
It's crazy. I remember I used to work at a call center, and I would make my accent stronger when people would get mad at me, like when they'd be all angry because they don't want to yell at a little Southern girl.
Yeah.
Although that did backfire on me once because I had a gentleman call in and I naturally sound pretty young on the in recording, like on the phone and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You sound like you're 12 years old," and then proceeds to order adult content and was wanting me to read out the titles, and I was like, "You're basically, you just told me I sound like a child and you want me to read these titles.
Oh, jeez.
Cool. That's creepy. I'm gonna, like, pass you on to somebody else now. I need a
Oh my
guy with, like, the
God.
deepest man voice ever.
Oh my God. There's some pervs out there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You get working in all the jobs I have worked, I have seriously just seen the oddest of civilization because working call centers, you talk to some really, really awkward people and weird people. Like I had one, the the customer's last name was Knuckles. Well, if he called in before 6 p.m., he was Mr. Knuckles, but if he called in after 6 p.m., he was Ms. Knuckles. And you had to address that. Or one, we had a customer, we had her therapist's phone number in our system because if she called talking all kinds of woohoo, cuckoo bird, we were to call her therapist. I was like, I am so glad that I'm getting paid to tell you how to fix your stuff and be your therapist. That is beautiful.
Oh man.
So yeah, you get some really interesting characters.
Yeah. All right. Guys, I want to appreciate you for your patience. My short update was supposed to run just for a few minutes, and it's run for more than a few minutes. And I want to appreciate your patience. Thank you guys for hanging out. You guys who stuck around, as usual, the super fans, Lynn, Intergalactic Wrangler, and the lurkers who happen to like to hang out. And seeing these numbers kind of puts things in perspective. And we're going to try to not poo-poo all over the fun that we're having, but we're also trying to be responsible because when YouTube tells you YouTube didn't tell me what they were doing. So I needed to get all the data and push it into AI to say, what does this look like? And it told me exactly what I had been sensing for a year. 1 year. I've been doing this for 1 year. I should have quit a long time ago. I've been doing this for a year.
No, because then you wouldn't have, heard jokes that make you like double over laughing and break your stream.
Yes. It would like this channel, and I'll tell you this channel essentially gave me a purpose because first off, okay, so last year March 1st, my mom dies. And then by July, like I was grieving, didn't know I was grieving, but I was in a haze for months until I was fired from my job, July 29th.
Yeah.
And being an immigrant, I needed to get another job, and so on. Couldn't get a job. My papers expired and I couldn't work. And that was in September. Charlie Kirk gets assassinated September 10th. And I was angry. I was already angry from losing my job and all the other things surrounding it. And my mom dying and feeling like I could have done more. I was upset, vented everything out on the channel. And it's just been going on and on and on and on. But being able to come live and just talk, and of course I'm well past the angry stage. But looking at everything going on in the world and being able to articulate what we're thinking and tell you what we're thinking and what to do next has been something that I've been trying to do for a year in the middle of this madness. And I'm glad that you guys have stuck with us. Intergalactic Wrangler joined in October. Lynn joined, I think, in April. You and Chris joined in July. And you joined in July.
Yeah, like very end of July.
Yeah, very end of July. So it's been some great things have happened in the middle of all of this. And in spite of the shadow banning and everything, you guys have simply shown up. And I'm like, okay, what else will happen?
You see what Lynn put?
What is this? Oh, yeah.
See, we're glad you didn't quit.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you. Look, I'm glad that the show was able to do it for you, but I'm going to tell you guys have been a huge help in this very difficult season. Lynn joined in, and after a couple of weeks, I made this announcement that I was told essentially that I was to leave the country. Like it was a very topsy-turvy season. I did a video, did my live stream, and then broke the announcement at the end of the live stream that the live streams might be choppy in the next few months because I'm going to have to leave the country. I'm not taking my camera or setup or sound suppression or anything. I'm going back to Africa, and I might be live streaming from my desktop or my laptop camera or something. And by the time we were done with that, it didn't happen that way anymore, but there was a lot of outpouring of support, and it was really an interesting season. We're still going through that journey, but you guys have been very supportive, and I want to say I do appreciate you guys. So Lynn, yes, I'm glad that I was able to be a channel to help you relax and wind down each evening. We had to move from the evening for very obvious reasons, but I hope you're enjoying the new belt. And I hope that we can get out of this shadow banning season finally. All right, so let's wrap it up. Yeah, yes. Look, if you did not know what these signs meant, these signs. So Lynn was kind of she was the person on the show who had to tell me if the audio had cut out or not.
Oh, gotcha.
So the software that we were using at the time, I think the software would cut out the sound. I think it was this same software, and we'll be live streaming, and I'll be talking, and then it will break off, and then she had to literally type in the chat. I had to keep my eyes. She and I had an agreement, and I was like, okay, whenever the audio dies, we need to have a signal. So originally she would just type no audio, but eventually she started putting up these emojis.
The little speakers.
And then, no speakers. I was like, oh, and then I would have to go back and reset the sound while we're live, and then apologize to the audience, and then keep going. And sometimes in the middle of the story again, it'll break off, and she'll do the same thing, and then whenever, oh my goodness. So it says, we went from no sound to sound and many other symbols to where we are now. Yeah, look, guys, look, this is fun, and I'm gonna say this, and I mean it. While I'm big on talking about, okay, let's get out of the shadow banning. Question: what if we never do get out of the shadow ban? Okay, and it's just the 5 of us, or it's just the 7 of us. All right, I think we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep doing this because it's healthy, it's helping us, it's and who knows? Easier said than done, but we're gonna try.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
So Tracy, I'm gonna let you say the goodbyes, and then we'll I'm horrible at saying goodbye.
I mean, it's been a great show. I've enjoyed. We were sitting there talking about a lot of different things, and got to sit there and listen and explain how you've been banned because you were bad. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. Shame.
We said the mean words. We said the baddie badge.
Yes, we did. They didn't like it very much.
It's been great, and I've definitely enjoyed doing this with you guys. I mean, it's fun. I don't typically share my opinions publicly because I do tend to have controversial ones for especially being a woman of having controversial opinions about things. So I'm glad I joined to share with you guys and hang out and chit chat. It's been fun for sure.
Amazing. So yeah, so we're back tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Hope to catch you then. And we'll be talking about something very interesting, shadow banning a black man. How dare they?
Right? Racist. They're racist.
Oh,
What
of
it is.
course they are. Of course they are.
You need to start playing your victim card. That's what it is.
You know, I haven't gifted memberships in a long time. So I'm going to gift memberships today. So I'm going to be sending out gifted memberships right now. And let's see who gets the gifted memberships. We have who got it? Piper, K-Fly, Free Solar Report, Global Elements. I want the terrible Nor Patrick. I don't know any of these guys, but they get free memberships. They get gifted memberships. So, guys, congratulations. Enjoy your free memberships. Hopefully, you will come back to the channel that gave you these free memberships, hopefully. but thank you guys for hanging out. We're going to be back tomorrow, same time, and catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, bye guys.